Hello and welcome to another round of the Alfira Dutton Rally 2005 National Series. This time we head down to New South Wales to Goulburn, where we take on Wakefield Park, the wonderful Sutton Road Drive training complex in Canberra, and of course the fast-flowing Eastern Creek Circuit. Now, from last year's New South Wales Dutton Rally, Martin Nataris and Simon Arthur are back to defend the title which they took, and also right behind them is Greg Sutton and Bernie Wilson. The ACT boys 1 and 2 last year. We'll see whether they can take it out again. They are back, but I've got to tell you, a big field is back too. The equipment level's up, and so too is the talent. It all plans to be a beauty.
Not only was there a significant jump in equipment levels this year, there was also a substantial leap in numbers. Over 80 cars had registered to take part in the Alfira Dutton Rally this year, and entry into Wakefield Park, the venue for day one, looked more like peak hour in Sydney, with the queue stretching back a couple of hundred metres. The officials acting like traffic cops just to get them into the fog-laden circuit. Now, I told you that the equipment level was up, so too was the support. This competitor even bought his own motorhome for the weekend. He has to be a candidate for the inaugural I'm Far Too Serious award. This new award will be given to a driver or team taking themselves far too seriously, and has been named in honour of the very serious Martin Nataris, a fella who's really making a name for himself.
I've got to try and beat Martin Nataris. He's being too serious for everyone.
The Dutton Rally is designed to be a fun event, and it wasn't long before the fog had lifted and the fun had begun. 3 driving tests would greet our drivers today. First, an auto test on the short Wakefield Park layout. A witch's hat chicane had been set up a few hundred metres down the track. Then it was a matter of following the rest of the circuit to a flying finish. All competitors are given an event manual, and in it, the rules and directions for each task. It's pretty simple that you negotiate your way around the chicane, i.e. you turn right and then left. Well, the pitman truck entered GTR mustn't have a manual, because he thought the quickest way around was to go straight through. He ended up down the escape road, but remarkably didn't hit a cone. I should point out that if you had hit a hat, it's a 5-second penalty. Now, you'd think that you would have learnt, but on his second attempt later that day, he did exactly the same thing again. Car 13, the Black Rex, was at it again, ready to put on a good show. Remember, cold track, cold tyres, and the first event of the day. Yep, all good reasons that you should go flat out and spin the car around. Again, remarkably, he didn't hit a hat either. Most of the field managed to get through here without harm. The quickest of them managed to complete the course in around 33 seconds. The fastest was Mark Berry in his Nissan GTR, knocking the terribly serious, but very fast, Martin Nataris in the Evo. Now, while this war was being waged, the other half of the field were taking on the Wakefield Park Hillclimb. And once again, a cold track with cold tyres caught out again, car 53. Mark Berry's gone from hero to zero in a matter of minutes. While Dutton Rally founder Sam Beck won a Tool Award for this rendition of Swan Lake on wheels. Oh yes, that boy sure can drive. The Sunnyfield boys put the Auto XR8 through its paces with a fair effort on the hill climb. While car 82, normally seen in the sport of drifting, thought they'd give the Dutton Rally a go, and they didn't disappoint, putting on a great display of car control. Not everyone was happy with their run though. Here we go on board with our camera on the roof. And at the finish line, even though the camera is outside the car, we can still hear the driver's expletive. The The men, though, with a grin, were again Nataris and Arthur, followed by Sutton and Wilson, both in the giant-killing Evo 8s, finishing first and second on this stage, with a time around the 50-second mark. The last event on day one was the Long Circuit, a chance for everyone to feel like a real race car driver and tackle Wakefield Park. Cars are let out in groups based on their morning times and then in intervals of 30 seconds or so. This allows for a safe run and also allows you to bank a good time without being held up or worrying about the guy behind you. David Withers was back in the Porsche, and Barry Foe looked the goods in the little Sylvia, while behind him a mini battle was taking place. On lap 1 we can see the black Porsche of Kim Burke starting to catch the 240's head of Richard and Daniel Whitehead. On the next lap around, Kim had caught them under brakes, the boys doing the right thing and letting the faster car through. The Lotus and I didn't get to bank a time. I had mechanical dramas which stopped me from completing a lap. It didn't stop me from spinning around 3 times, but it did stop me from posting a time. Sadly, the camera missed all that wonderful action. I'll just keep it for my home video. Luckily for me, though, the team at MoPro Australia sent a mechanic down from Sydney with the required parts, and thanks to them, got me going again in time for day 2. So at the end of a chilly day 1 in Goulburn, it's Martin Nataris and Simon Arthur out in front from Greg Sutton and Bernie Wilson in the Trust Me Evo 8, followed by Mark Berry and Russell Newman in the Nissan GTR. Day 2 should be very interesting indeed. Day 2 started early with a hearty breakfast and another briefing by Sam Beck. International race car driver Greg Muller had decided that he didn't need to pay attention to Sam, deciding his stomach was more important instead. Mind you, he wouldn't be the first person to ignore Sam. Our second lot of events would see the field split in 2. The first group would take a short drive to Goulburn Airport, while the rest would take a 50-minute drive to the nation's capital, Canberra, where the Sutton Road Driver Training Complex and Hillclimb awaited them. The mornings had been pretty cold, temps around -2 had been reported, so I was glad that our group had the short drive to do first. Remember, I'm in the Lotus Elise. It has no roof. Luckily for me, the merchandise this year included beanies. Mind you, there are other ways to keep warm in a topless car. Motor Magazine's Dean Evans explains.
I recommend you don't want to do this flying down the Hume Highway towards Goulburn at -2.
No, we were looking at the temperature display this morning. It was about -0.5 and a little snow warning. So we kind of held hands and kept the top up for that one.
Oh, nice one. There's love in the car.
There's a bit of love, but not too much. Real manly, heterosexual love. Not that there's anything wrong with that either.
Thanks, Dino. I'll stick with the beanie. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It didn't take long before the cars were ready to go. Car 1 of Martin, I'm a bit serious Nataris, was ready for battle. Notice the mirrors folded back to give him those extra seconds. Too serious, mate. Anyone would think we're playing for sheep stations. James Dutton was ready, giving us the thumbs up. While in front, David Withers was going through a strange ritual, kissing the back of his hand. Whatever works for you, Dave. While outside the car, Dave Pittman was again trying to pee on everything in sight. This time it was on Barry Foe. Barry's wife doing a pretty good job to stop him, but you know pity, he's got a pee for every occasion. The Goulburn Airport surface was a little slippery. The start line had plenty of loose gravel, which was not only hard to get traction on, also gave your car a mini sandblast.
We're just putting some tape on it because apparently the far end of the track, there's a lot of loose gravel with the R-spec tyres. Yeah. After high speed, it picks up the gravel and damages all the panel work. Apparently one of the guys last year had a Porsche and had to replace some of the back panels because the stones picked up.
Traction was something the Jobson boys in their ute didn't find until the second orange cone. And the Porsche of Rennie Di Maria and Kurt Stiles lost traction in first and second gears. Look at the exhaust vibrate. The boys from East Holiday Park lit up the rears in their big V8, snaking their way down the runway too. The caravan park owners having a ball in their very first Elvira Dutton Rally.
Now, what prompted you to come onto this thing?
We did the brother and I did the Grand Prix rally earlier in the year and loved it. Absolute ball. So we thought, well, we'll give this one a bash, and looks like we're going to Victoria now, so if we can get an entry. So just great fun. So.
Now, the Grand Prix rally, I think, is driver and navigation. There's no navigation in this. Both of you actually get to do the events and have a drive yourself.
That's right. In the Grand Prix we shared it, the driving that is. But here we're just having a ball because we can do everything ourselves. So, yes.
The big yellow GDS is going all right.
It is. A bit of a handful at times, but it is going all right. So.
Well, at least you left the caravan at home.
I have, yes. Well and truly.
Trent, this is your first time on the Dutton Rally. How did you find out about it and why have you come?
Actually a friend of James Moss's, who's the brother of Anthony Moss, the director, and was a bit of a talk-up for about a year, and we've just managed to get the car in time and get it prepared, and yep, here it is, entered with my mate AJ.
How are you going so far? Having fun?
Yeah, not too bad. Ran out of brakes early yesterday, so that wasn't too fun, but going well here on the 800 metres. So.
Yeah, the GTR kind of likes these straight line things. They're such a good car, aren't they?
Yeah, it goes well. Getting up to about 2:30 or something at the end of it, so only problem is pulling it up at the other end.
Now, the social side of the Dutton Rally, can you describe that for me so far, what you've seen or what you've actually been part of?
Well, we've missed out on some of the drunken stories we've been hearing about. We stayed in a shanty, you could call it. It's just opposite the prison, so it was a good view to start with. But we've moved into Best Western, so it should be interesting tonight and tomorrow. So
look forward to it, mate.
Absolutely.
Kari Esplin was also back for another weekend away from the kids. Has been kicking up her heels on the social scene too, I hear.
I'm away with your hubby, going fast, having a nice time. Now you're kicking up your heels with the time away from the kids on the social scene too.
Oh no, I'm being very quiet and subdued, I would have thought.
You're such a fibber.
No, I'm not. Don't you dare tell any stories.
What do you say to the ladies that are out there? And I guess some of them may be thinking, oh, it's fairly blokey dominated, I feel a little intimidated. What have the fellas been like?
Look, it's fantastic. You get that much encouragement as a woman. All the guys are saying, oh, I wish my wife had come. And you really do get so much encouragement. And you don't do great times when you're first starting, but they're out there saying, oh, you've done so well and you're really doing a great job.
Now, while Kari was suiting up to get out there and do it, her husband Tony was on hand to write a few words of encouragement into the Porsche's Duco. Something along the lines of, I wish my wife was this dirty. Nice one, Tone. This year's Dutton Rally was also full of lotuses, if that's the collective noun for lotus. There was only 2 on the Gold Coast, ours, Mark O'Connor and myself, and Andre Morris from Witch's Chase Cheese. But at New South Wales, they've seemed to have bred like rabbits. There's around 8 in the field. I thought I'd catch up with a few of their drivers.
You brought one down. What's going on with your Lamborghini last time?
Yeah, we used a car that was led to us by Mossman Autos last time, and probably a little bit big for this event, but this time we decided to go to a Lotus Exige, and it seems to be nimble and does all the right things around what we're doing at the moment. It's a little bit slower on the big main straights, but it makes up for it in the twisty stuff.
You haven't got the cheese cutter wheels on. The Lotus going beautifully.
The Lotus is going good, but I think we've packed on a bit of weight since Gold Coast. We've been eating too much cheese. That's our problem here today.
What do you think about seeing so many Lotus here this weekend?
I'm a bit disappointed, really. I thought we had it in the bag when we sort of did the Queensland round and then got down here, and yeah, there's a fair bit of competition, from these sorts of guys, but we'll get there.
Timmy's bought one as well. He's from One of a Kind Media. He's racing one of these in the series. And this is your car.
Yeah, it's good, mate. It's good fun. Now, it's the competition stuff with all these boys, though. Especially you as well. You're in one.
Yeah, but I'm coming dead last now in the class. I'm not happy about that.
Oh well, you'll get there.
Thanks for the words of encouragement, Timmy. I think I'll need them. As mentioned earlier, over 80 cars had entered this year's event, which equates to around 150 competitors. Molly Taylor from Sydney has come along, and at just 17 is the youngest here in 2005.
Molly, how come you've come along?
Well, Dad did it last year, And so yeah, I saw him do it and then decided as soon as I get my Ps I want to have a go. So convinced me.
Now tell me about this little car that you're in.
Well, we've only had it for about a year maybe. Imported it from Japan, and it was a Mirage Cup car over there, so it's only done a bit of dirt carnicrosses over here, so this is its first time on tarmac in Australia.
Now the family's got a bit of a rally history. Now your dad teaches, and tell me about your mum.
Yeah, well, Mum co-drives for Neil Bates in the Australian Rally Championship for Toyota, so it's pretty good. I'm wearing her driving suit today.
Oh, and you fit into it.
Yeah, I'm a bit taller than her actually.
Now I know you're wearing the driving suit, which is Mum's. Are you wearing her Ugg boots as well?
No, they're mine. It's very cold down here.
This year, the Dutton Rally had introduced a Sportsmanship Award, given to those who perform good deeds. One man who's always first to help is Darren Park's old man, Milton. Now, Reg Johnson's Porsche was looking a little second-hand, and before you could say German cars never break down, Milton had the car up, the back of the truck and the spanners out to get Reg going again.
Well, this looks a bit sinister. Reg, what's the story?
I've lost a water pulley on the back of the car. I was doing the 800 sprint and suddenly the temperature went up to 120 and the alternator light came on, so I knew I had a problem. So, and I've just been bragging to everyone how reliable Porsches are. So, yeah, we'll put that one in the storybook. I don't think it'll be a rally without him getting in and getting dirty and fixing cars for people. So, yeah, no, he's there again. Excellent. Great help from lots of people.
We'll get you back out there?
Yeah, it should be this afternoon.
Tony Esplin, this weekend we've got a Sportsmanship Award, people who have done good deeds around the paddock. You've got a good deed to tell too.
I certainly do. I've just shredded, or about to shred, 2 rear tyres on the Porsche, and another fellow, Andrew Bullard, has kindly offered his 2 rear tyres, so hopefully it can keep me in the event.
Isn't that fantastic?
That's what it's all about, Daniel. Yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah, you're only saying yesterday, I think I overheard you saying that these tyres had done the Mount Buller Sprint and they were done a few other events and they were kind of close to being on their way out.
Well, I think I was being a bit ambitious. I thought I could get 2 rallies out of them, but I can get about 1 3/4.
James Dutton again had the stereo pumping in the Mini, which was carrying a serious message for all those rear-wheel drive cars at this event. Now, the thing he's looking for is to his right, near his right wrist. You see it? Let's give those rear-wheel drives a run for their money. That's what he's looking for, but do you think he can find it? Finally, he remembers. A couple of word finder puzzles for Christmas ought to sort him out. Now, while all this was going on, Canberra was starting to get busy too. 4 different tests would be found in the nation's capital. The wonderful Sutton Road back circuit, a short but very fast auto test, the wet skid pad, and the Fairburn Park Hillclimb. Course 1 is the back circuit. You can see on the map a number of chicanes to negotiate and a flying finish over the crest. Let's go on board the Red Lotus Elise of Paul Pickett from MoPro Australia and have a look at the first course of Sutton Road. On the Sutton Road circuit, Dean Evans was working hard at the wheel. But most others tackled the course without incident. It was then on to the wet pan, which provides some interesting viewing and again, didn't disappoint. Peter Brewer and the Bog Standard Evo did a pretty neat job with a nice power slide to finish. Car 78 was going well, busy at the wheel and handling it okay. Put the boot in, it's easy to break traction and go slow. And car 89, the Lotus Exige, was going awfully well, with a lovely pirouette to finish. The wet event was eventually won by Mark O'Connor in the Lotus Elise. After Sutton Road, it was over to the Hillclimb. Car 81 took the short way around, cutting the curbs. And car 88 thought he'd try the same. Car 78 of McKee and McNeil were going well until make or break corner. They came in there way too hot, locked a wheel and were heading towards the tyre barrier. But they lived on to fight another day. Different lines were being taken at make or break. Mark O'Connor and the Lotus got through unscathed, as did Shears and Nicholson in car 16 with a nice run through the bend. Car 82, the Drift boys were at it again, the boys treating this like a drift battle. But the team to beat was again Martin Nataris and Simon Arthur in the Evo 8. They carried the number 1 plate for a reason and continued to dominate with a sub 46-second time, the fastest of the day. Snapping at their heels though were the Trustby boys in car 2, another Evo 8, only a second off the pace. A large field had gathered to tackle this year's event, including a bloke who knows a thing or two about driving a car, and that is Rick Bates.
Now, Batesy, no stranger to motor cars, of course, but a stranger to the Dutton Rally. We've been offered a bit of a spin over a late night beer in the Darren Parkmobile. How are we going?
Yeah, great. I'm having great fun in it. It's got a fair bit of go, and it was a very late thing on Friday night. On the Thursday night, the rally started on Friday. I got a phone call saying, did I want to have a spin in it? Didn't take me long to make up my mind, and here I am, sort of having a bit of fun.
Well, you've been pedalling around this thing. What so far? We're halfway through. What's been your favourite bit?
Wakefield, definitely. The circuits have been great. On the tighter stuff, it's fairly peaky. It's hard to keep on the boil, but on the circuits where you can open it up, it's really good fun.
Rick looked like he was having a ball, so I thought I'd ask a few others about the rally and what they thought was the best part so far.
Now, Susan, you're a local lady. This is your first ever motorsport event. How are you going?
Good, it's great fun. Enjoying it a lot.
What's the favourite bit so far?
The 800 sprints this morning.
Oh, now tell me why.
Why? Because I got a second less than my husband.
You got a
second less than my husband's time.
Oh, well done. You've got pillow talk bragging rights for the next year.
Yes, indeed.
Good work. Well, good luck out here.
Thank you.
What's the best bit so far, mate?
Oh, it was a 6 this morning. Oh, sorry. No, the hill climb over there was sensational. First time I was shaking because I've never driven it before, but the second one was awesome. It was just fantastic. I was on such a high when I finished. Awesome. So I just itching to get out there again. And I've checked my pacemaker. They've got new batteries in it, so I'll be okay.
Well, the GT2 is entered by Bullard and Bullard. In fact, it's A Bullard and A Bullard, Anne and Andrew. How you faring?
Good. Having a great time, thanks.
Enjoying it?
I am. This is the first time I've ever driven the car. I've sat in it a few times. We've had it about 3 years. So yeah, it's good fun. Bit slow.
Oh, I don't know about that. How fantastic, though, to do something together like this.
Absolutely. Anne's been the race babe for my fairly recent race career, and she's always looked glam, and she's driven the service vehicle and met us in the middle of Tasmania when it's minus 12 degrees and it's snowing, and then we haven't bothered to stop because we had enough fuel, so she sees us for about 10 seconds. And so I thought it's time that she had a go, so here she is.
Nataris, the man who's got 01 on the door, 01 on the number plate. It's all going good for you this weekend.
Oh, so far so good, yes. Yeah, can't complain.
Simon Arthur's still driving pretty well with you. You've done an interesting thing though with your window. What's happened there?
The 800 metre strip today, it blew out at 220 k's. It was kind of freaky sort of happening.
What did you think when that happened?
I thought, oh no, we're going to get another window.
That easy?
Oh yeah, it was only Perspex, so it's okay.
Another man who was always having fun is David Pittman.
I've never met a man who pees on so many things than you. You're like a mangy old dog, David Pittman.
And I love peeing. No, these events are quite good, and I think you've worked out the best type of car to do the event in. Someone else's.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. I thought you were going to say a Pittman truck. Now you're on a GDR this time.
Yes, and it's unbelievable. Four-wheel steer. It's a package of a car that I never assumed would go so well, but it's amazing. Really good.
Well, mate, you've got the smile on the dial. It's nice to see you back, mate. You've relinquished the number 69, but driving with number 12.
Number 12, and well, that'll do for now.
There was one more test for us to complete before we could call it a day. A nighttime stage outside the Goulburn Courthouse. Again, hundreds of people had turned up for the event, a favourite with locals every year.
Why have you come down tonight?
We've been the last few years or ever since it started, and this is the best night we've ever that they've ever had. Certainly weather-wise. No, it's a really interesting few hours for sure.
G'day, why have you come down?
We're just passing through town on the way from Sydney to Yass, and saw a couple of the cars, so we thought we'd come down and have a look.
Fantastic. Now, but so far, do you like what you see?
Oh, it's fantastic. Yeah, I know nothing about cars, but it sounds great. It smells good.
Watching from the sidelines is one thing. Doing it is another. You see, if someone before you goes the wrong way, then you, if you're unsure, also go the wrong way. Car 66 is a case in point, doing exactly the same thing as his teammate did before him. Car 52, the big Walkinshaw, put on a pretty good show, and in the process came awfully close to the barrier. Event sponsor Paul Pickett lit up the tyres in the Lotus Elise and had an interesting approach on getting back into the garage. Not to be outdone, Chris O'Neill took up the challenge and did a reverse jobby into the garage too.
Just had a brain fade, no idea.
Nice one, Tool. This one earning him a complete and utter Tool award. There were plenty of people who had no idea which way to go, including the boys in the Orange Exige.
And we have no idea where he's going. Around in circles.
And it wasn't all smooth sailing for the boys in car 28. The RS Escort was exactly that. RS.
Just went round the bottom corner and dropped it back into first, and that was the last we saw of the gearbox.
You heard it go?
I just felt it just went boom, and then there was about 3 miles of room around me.
But how's this for a chance of a lifetime? A couple of local lads won a competition and are now set to ride in the big red thumper, the big HSV, alongside, you guessed it, Rick Bates.
Well, that's pretty unspeakable. He's a good driver. That was pretty cool.
Not too many chances, mate. You get to hang around outside the courthouse in your hometown with a bit of a rally name like Bates.
No, not at all. Not at all. It's a pretty special experience.
Were you scared?
No, it was cool. Very cool. I was in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing.
Well done, mate. Now, you won this contest on the radio, is that right?
Yes. Yeah, you just had to ring up and tell them why you should be entered into the draw, and I did, and then they pulled my name out of the draw, so that was pretty cool.
So what did you tell them?
I told them that the Holden Rodeo I had just didn't cut it.
Now tell me, how have you got involved in this rally? How did you find out about it? You've made a fair jaunt to come across.
Yeah, I was talking to Steve about a national event that couldn't happen right around Australia. And a few weeks later, he found out about the Dutton Rally. We got in touch and we thought we'd come over and have a look.
What do you think so far?
So far, it's been fantastic. Really good.
And Barbara, you've come across and you've had a little bit of a play today. You got a ride in one of the cars.
I did. I was very lucky. I happened to be in the right place at the right time. And so I had a ride in one of the Elises up the Hillclimb. And it was excellent. Thoroughly enjoyed it.
What sort of facilities? I mean, we're in Queensland, New South Wales and Victoria with this event. What sort of facilities could you offer in WA?
We could offer the same, if not better, as what we've seen since we've been here. We've got all the facilities, all the tracks, competitors, and it would be great to get some of the Eastern State competitors over there and come and mix with it.
After a very long day in the saddle, it was time to head to the Goulburn Workers Club for dinner and to dig deep for charity. An auction was held for the Sunnyfield Association, the official charity of the Alfira Dutton Rally, who help out people with disabilities in a number of fantastic ways. Items up for grabs included entry into next year's event, signed Schumacher paraphernalia and Wayne Gardner's driving suit. The night raised nearly $15,000 for the Sunnyfield Association, which will further help their endeavours in the community. Day 3 was held at Eastern Creek Raceway. Another 4 tests were set out, which would include a wet figure of 8, the Western Sydney International Dragway, a giant auto test, and of course the fabulous Eastern Creek Race Circuit. The giant skid pan was run as a dry event, but that didn't mean it was any less difficult. 2 laps doing exactly the same thing and then finish in the garage. Sounds simple, but car 12, the pit-minute GTR, had no idea which way to go. But he ended up with a smile on his dial all the same. It makes you wonder why so many people don't know exactly what to do. Surely they're all studying their maps, right? No, wrong. Have a look at it. One of the worst offenders of having no idea, Sam Beck, here with his cohorts Dutton, Sutton and Muller. Not a map in sight. Good to see they're not taking the event too seriously though. Talking of serious, Martin the Taurus had the Evo looking good, especially with the newly installed hydraulic handbrake. Greg Sutton in the Evo was neat and straight. And neat and straight is something that Darren Park never is. Take a look at the angle, wheel work and the amount of lock he's got on here. There's no doubt about you, Dazza. You always give us something to use on the TV coverage. Also giving us something to look at were the Drift Boys in car 82.
Absolutely brilliantly. I mean, these Porsches and these Rexes and these Evos are all going straight. We're out there going completely sideways and we love it.
That's right. This is a good car to go sideways, this one.
Oh, absolutely beautiful. I can't think of a better car to do it in, and I think you ask any of the crowd, they'll agree.
This isn't the fastest way around here, but it looks pretty good all the same. PLM Lotus did as well, setting the 4th fastest time of the day. But the winner was Simon Arthur in the Evo 8.
Well, at the Alfira Dutton Rally, the power plant of choice seems to be the Mitsubishi Evo 8, and the number 1 to catch is the number 1 car of Martin the Taurus and Simon Arthur. However, if you're about to go down and get a bog standard Evo 8, you'll go all right. But what do we need to change and do to make it a rocket ship like this? Let's go and find out. Well, Kev, it's reasonably bog standard, I suppose.
It is. It's pretty much as you get out of the showroom.
What have we done? We've done a little bit, but I mean, not a great deal.
Well, when they first launched this car, they put a little bit of suspension work into it, not a great deal, and some pretty bits on the outside, and that's about it. There's nothing else in it that's been changed.
Unlike Martin Nataris' car, which we're about to go and have a look at, which is completely different.
You could say that again. We've been looking at the back of it for a long time.
Most of the improvements have been in the handling. We've spent a lot of time testing with White Line. They developed a coil-over suspension for the car, and that's where we've picked up most of our time. The other bits and pieces are mainly in weight saving. As you can see, the car is fairly bare, no air conditioning, no stereo, and that equates to about 150 kilos over a standard car.
Now, the other thing that you've done, obviously, with the suspension, I know you've done for this event, it's a new addition. Tell me about this whiz-bang handbrake.
We've been losing a lot of time to a lot of the WRXs because these don't stop. You can't spin them around on the handbrake. So we made up a hydraulic handbrake, and it's working a treat at the moment.
Taking a scientific approach to the Eastern Creek layout was a special guest, Dr. Carl.
Well, we brought in the big guns this weekend, bit of science in the motorsport. Dr. Carl, what prompted you to join David Brown?
He invited me.
And you said yes?
And I said yes. I used to do some rally driving years ago down the back of Wollongong in the SIAC, or Steel Industry Auto Car Club. I haven't done any heavy driving for a while, and I'm a good responsible citizen because it's the way to drive on the roads, and this is not on the road, so I want to get a chance to go out here and fang it, burn a few hydrocarbons.
Now, when David invited you, did he let you in on which particular motor car you were steering?
Yeah, it's some sort of weird diesel Alpha. It actually looks good and doesn't sound like a diesel. I've been test driving four-wheel drives for a while. I've driven through 10 of the 12 deserts in Australia, and I've learned about various engines and cars, and this is a chance to sort of broaden my knowledge into a different field, which is burning rubber.
And when Dr. Carl wasn't burning rubber, he was handing out advice to fellow motoring enthusiasts. Now, if you enjoy your cars as much as Dr. Carl, perhaps you'd like to enter the next event. Here's the event director, Anthony Moss.
Now, Mossy, the equipment level this year has upped tenfold. It's amazing. Professionalism, the drivers, the event, and the motor cars that are here. I've seen David Brown in a diesel, and you've seen a fairly expensive GT too.
Absolutely. Well, the beauty of the event, Daniel, is that you can actually enter any car you like. I mean, as you mentioned, there's a diesel Alfa Romeo station wagon that's been entered. There's a Porsche GT2 that's entered the opposite end of the spectrum. Whether you've got a Ford XR6 Turbo, you've got a Holden SS, it's a family car, you take the wife and kids out during the week, use it for a work car, come and bring it out on the weekend with us. It's just a fantastic way to really understand and have fun with your car.
Little Volkswagen Golfs, Renault Clios, all sorts of things.
Absolutely, yeah, whatever car it is. I mean, the whole idea, we sell a lot of new cars in this country every year, and a lot of them performance-oriented vehicles. So our event's just all about bringing those cars out in a safe environment. We've got full backup safety crew, ambulances on standby. It's a very, very safe event. It's a lot of fun. It's just a way to enjoy your car. DuttonRally.com, get on there, download an entry form, and come and join us on the next event.
Was enjoying the event. That was until the wet figure of 8 claimed yet another victim and sent him packing.
Well, tell me what happened there. That was interesting.
Yeah, just had some lunch, come out a little bit too keen, got crossed up in the wet, and the afternoon's over now.
Good thing he's got plenty of little helpers to help change the tyre when he gets home. For many, the Eastern Creek layout can be a little daunting, and as you may know, it's one of the fastest left-hand turns in Australia. I asked Rennie De Maria about the speed around here.
I didn't realise how quick you can get along here. They're saying over 200, so a bit scary today in the new Porsche.
Well, on the 800-metre sprint, I think at Shepparton, Kurt, your driver, was sort of doing around sort of 220, so...
Yeah, we got up to about 220, so...
What sort of speed down the hill here at Eastern Creek?
They're saying 220, 230, so a bit scary. As one whoosh has passed.
Just as I'd finished talking to Rennie, I ran into Kurt Stiles driving the said Porsche. Kurt had just returned from his first run.
Well, Kurt Stiles, first bang round here in a Porsche, mate. How was that?
Extremely fast down the main straight, extremely fast into turn one. They're absolute joy to drive, definitely fabulous.
I was asking Rennie before about the top speed he expected. He said about 220, 230. Were you brave enough to look?
Yeah, I was probably about 215, yeah.
Another car that has plenty of mumbo is the big black Porsche Gambala of Terry Knight and Shane Brewer. I asked Shane about the potential of his car around the creek as well.
I love these Gambalas, mate. They are going fantastically well. Shane, you having fun?
Very much so, yeah. It was good. We're just having a bit of problems with getting the power down, you know, but other than that, we're doing really well. Terry's been hammering it. You know, he's going to win the title, of course. You know, you can tell that stiff, that number one stiff. Yeah, he's gone.
Nataris, I think they call him.
Stiff, yeah.
What sort of top speed do you think you can get out of this thing down the straight?
I don't know. Warren Luff said that the way he drove it at Wakefield, he says you should be around 280 coming down the straight easy in this thing. He felt the power, and that scares me. That scares me, mate. I won't do a 280, but yeah.
Terry's just yelled at us from the window. He said, not me.
Come on, Terry. Yeah, balls, buddy.
Earlier I mentioned there was a sportsmanship award up for grabs for anyone doing a good deed. Paul Pickett was in the running after this effort, lending his Lotus to the boys who had earlier had trouble in their BMW. And for anyone else with car trouble, Paul had this little piece of advice.
I got the best advice because I've got lots of Lotuses for lease. Just pay $5,500 and you've got one of my cars for the whole weekend, fully serviced and prepared, ready to go. That's the best advice I can give you.
The quarter mile again proved interesting with some good battles taking place. Kari Esplin in the GT3 was up against the boys in the Rex. Look at Kari go. Girl power on display right there. There was a battle between the two Evos. Nicholson is closest to screen, Nataris is in the far lane. And Nicholson gets away better, but it's not long before the giant-killing Evo of Nataris and Arthur gobbles him up down the straight. But it was Mark Berry in the GTR that broke the 12-second barrier, winning the event with an 11.92, 116 mile per hour. While that was going on, it seemed that Darren Park and James Dutton were getting close and personal. Now, I can't read lips, but I think James just asked Darren for a date. Careful, Dutto, what you wish for. I think he's keen. Well, it was time for the presentation, and it wouldn't be a Dutton Rally without the officials. They've worked hard all weekend. They deserve their class photo. They've made sure the event has run safely and on time, and to them, we give a big thanks. The presentation ceremony was held at Bungalow 8 on Sydney's Darling Harbour, and the girls were on hand to reward the boys for their efforts with a trophy and a peck on the cheek. That was until Simon Arthur came to make a speech and collect his trophy for fastest co-driver. Paul Pickett, feeling a little left out, planted one on him for a bit of fun. Talking of fun, international racing car driver and international male model Greg Muller was hamming it up as well. But all jokes aside, it was another fantastic effort from Martin Nataris and Simon Arthur, winners of the Gold Coast event and now winners of the New South Wales Alfira Dutton Rally.
Well done, boys. You're cleaning up.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, really enjoyed it today, and I had to fight hard.
Well, this bloke, Simon, I can't believe it. Every time they talk about a trophy, I'd be embarrassed if I was you, mate. You're lucky that we're in Sydney and Canberra's just down the road because they ping you for about $1,000 excess baggage.
Yeah, lucky we've got the car on the trailer and a fair bit of extra room there.
ACT 1-2 in the National Series. Bernie Wilson, Greg Sutton. What a terrific effort, fellas, in a quality field.
Oh, look, we're so happy to be here and we've had a great run. New car. Really enjoyed ourselves, though. And as you say, ACT 1-2. Very proud of that fact.
Now, this bloke, you've done all right too, mate. I've got to tell you, what a weekend.
Oh, no, gone all right. Very happy with the way it's gone. Like Greg said, with the new car and what have you. it's a bit different to the Porsche and we're still learning to drive it, but no, we're going all right, but we're enjoying ourselves too.
What do you got to do to knock off the Taurus and Arthur? Bridesmaids all the time.
My wife's figured it out. She said if I wanted to get serious enough, I'd go home early, wouldn't drink so much.
Well, this year the Lotus Trophy Series has come on board as a sponsor, and you've helped me out, Paul, with a wonderful car, mate. Have you had a nice time?
I've had a great time. It's just a different motorsport experience for me, and I've really enjoyed it. I was probably a bit pensive on Friday, but Saturday and Sunday I just thought it was sensational, so I'd recommend it to anybody.
What's been the best part for you, of course? I mean, meeting the contacts, I suppose, from a business point of view is a great reason to get involved and what have you, but in terms of events and the nightlife and some of the road courses, what's been the highlight?
Definitely, the networking that's gone on this weekend is certainly going to help the business in the future, but the social aspect is just sensational, and I like the high speed sort of stuff, so going to Eastern Creek today was my highlight. I thought it was great.